Supposed to be at the end of the last session, so we're doing this and trying to compress it at the same time. And what we wanted to talk about, you will have realised listening to lots of the talks here and how much connectivity that people are building. They're joining up, they're talking to each other, and the bioeconomy is moving ahead very fast in partnerships. And what's been very exciting for the IACGB is that we have been having people talk to us about joining up, doing some stuff together, talking together, sharing perspectives, sharing responsibilities, how we feel about the bioeconomy, what our different shapes and visions of the bioeconomy is. So we're going to share with you, and I don't know where the slide is, somewhere? Yes, great. So this is some of the examples of the people we've just recently, it's only really in the last few months, have been talking to about doing some more meetings together to share perspectives and to share and grow global bioeconomy thinking. So I'm going to call up some of the players. So could we have Martin, Chris, Valeria, Lev, Hugo. Yep, and the others are remote at the moment. So if we could just come up to the stage. And we're going to ask each of them to say very briefly, a couple of minutes to 5 minutes at the most, on, yeah, come on, find a seat. A couple to 5 minutes on what their shape of the bioeconomy is, because they all represent different perspectives and different backgrounds. I will start by mentioning the European Space Agency, who we couldn't be here today because they are doing their release of their bioeconomy document today in Europe. So, but they would have been here as well and joining up in this, and their perspective is bioeconomy and how it relates to the space futures and the work that they're doing, particularly looking at the planet and measuring the planet. Okay. So I'm going to ask the first ones to speak, and we will have one video from one other remote before we finish. So Martin, would you like to talk?
Thank you. Well, the European Bioeconomy University Alliance is an alliance of 8 leading universities in the bioeconomy area. And it was not so easy to bring them together, because we have heard today a lot about the different cultural and geographical backgrounds, and you wouldn't think about it, this small Europe, but considering that there is partners from Scandinavia and partners from Italy, and even for African dimension, that is not very far from each other. But if you have a talk there, I'm quite sure that you have to think about that the Scandinavian understand it different than the Italian understood your own talk. And I think now this is important to get to the same level, to have a lot of discussion, to have this network together. Then in these 5 years that we have been now on stage, we learned how to listen to each other. And I do think on a global level, might be even more difficult to do this, but it is worth it. It's going about this bioeconomy. We all know the limited resources also when it comes to research, education. There would be a very good idea to have to avoid overlaps and to avoid having gaps. And I do think that would be a great momentum if we can put that on a global level. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. And now I'm going to ask Chris and Valeria from the World Economic Forum to now talk on your...
Hi, everyone. Thanks for still being here, no matter the fact that we are in between coffees and dinners here, or travels and catching flights. I'm very grateful to be here today. Thanks, Elspeth, as well as Christine and Julius for inviting us and co-hosting a workshop with us this week. My name is Valeria D'Amico. It sounds Italian, I am Italian, but here today I represent an organization that is based in Geneva, Switzerland, the land of beautiful landscapes and cheese and chocolate. The World Economic Forum and the complex challenges that we are facing in this world stands as the leading organization for public and private cooperation. We act as a trust space where leaders from government, civil society, and businesses can meet and collaborate together to achieve a more sustainable and equitable world. Within the forum, the tech portfolio is led by the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I'm sorry if I don't, maybe you don't hear me. The Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution is based on the idea that new technologies and advanced technologies should always be human-centered and have positive social, economical benefits. So the idea is to build a global network of Fourth Industrial Revolution centers that see technologies as potentials that are always positive for human beings. Within the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and this is why we're here today, there is an initiative called the Bioeconomy Initiative. And we heard throughout this week that bio is here, bio is now, and that is why our main goal is to accelerate the adoption of bio-based solutions, and as well as accelerate the tech-driven adoption technologies. The Bioeconomy Initiative was born more or less 2 years ago at the forum, and since then we have organized workshops, convening leaders from public and private sectors to analyze what were the key challenges, but also what are the opportunities to collaborate together to deliver a framework that is adaptable to every industry as well as every region in the world. I will let my colleague Chris speak more about the initiative, and thank you for still being here again.
Thanks, Vali. So I'll talk a little bit more about the Bioeconomy Initiative. As Vali said, we're focusing on the tech-driven bioeconomy, and that really is the focus for what we're trying to achieve. And we believe the future of the bioeconomy is going to be driven through technology. Advances in physical and digital technologies are broadening the scope of applications within the bioeconomy. We're seeing examples, so things like synthetic biology, which was covered extensively earlier in the keynote, so I won't elaborate too much on that, is like fundamental to that growth, the ability to functionalize DNA for new applications and to improve existing. The other area is there's also a broad range of other technologies such as AI, sensing, automation, and all of that, which can really help us transform and accelerate the way we bring biosolutions to market and accelerate the transition to a bio-based economy. So really, we see significant growth in the bioeconomy coming through this convergence of technologies, and that's going to become a backbone of the commercial bioeconomy going forward. However, I think this is a common theme that we've seen repeated here, is that the bioeconomy is not in the commercial mainstream yet. And we need to find a way to improve that. Globally, there's over 60 national strategies that need to be realized, in order to realize that, we need to fuse bioinnovation into our society, create customizable biosolutions through technology, and drive scalable commercial biosolutions to achieve those. But in order to do that, we need to generate demand, A, and B, we need to basically unlock unlock the ability to deliver biosolutions across value chains, sectors, and regions. The way the initiative is doing that, we have a number of working groups we've built, which our community participate in. We've built a very robust, diverse, global bioeconomy community that engage with these working groups to develop impactful insights and content and all that to further the dialogue around the bioeconomy and the tech-driven bioeconomy, and really to drive that discussion with private and with all spheres of the public and private leadership to really try and to drive that adoption and to get buy-in and move the needle forward. So that's really what we're trying to achieve at a global scale.
I have a significant apology to make to two people sitting in the audience, and that's the International Bioeconomy Forum is also represented here. So I don't know between you, Peter, and okay, that's great. So just come up, and as we move along, perhaps Lev, would you like to comment next on FAO's big bioeconomy initiative?
Thank you. It was really heartwarming to hear at this forum the mention of global cooperation and coordination across so many dimensions. Technologies, data, indicators, metrics, private sector. I think we all do recognize how important to bring this multiple and different networks, partnerships, and various cooperation mechanisms together that actually bioeconomy demands. And I think from FAO side, I'm here and I'm very pleased that I'm not alone. So it's not only from the United Nations system, we have also representatives from UNEP here. We hope that at the next forum there would be more. There would be multilateral banks who are also warming up and understanding more and more bioeconomy. And from FAO side, as I think we mentioned several times already, our universal membership recognized bioeconomy as one of the strategic priorities for the entire organization among 20. So we have only 20, and bioeconomy is one of them. I think this shows the importance of this dimension. And let me just conclude that certainly we do need to bring the United Nations system. We need to bring this multilateral conversation to the debates we're having here. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lev. That's great. Hugo down the end, and then I'll come back to Peter.
Thank you, Elspeth. Well, I think that we have presented the Latin American Bioeconomy Network, I don't know, three or four times in different spaces in the conference because we are so proud that we have done in only 1.5 years. We are a network of 60 institutions, around 60 institutions in Latin America that we are working together trying to promote the bioeconomy because first, we are convinced that we have everything to be protagonisms in the world bioeconomy. We have the biological resources, we have technicians. In fact, we have done important efforts in political strategy, normatives, regulations. But even though the bioeconomies in the region are different, because the bioeconomies in the regions are different. The bioeconomy of Brazil is totally different than Colombia or Argentina or Costa Rica. Most of the challenges are so similar and so big, and no one can solve alone. So why not work together or in synergy? So 1.5 years ago, we agreed to create the Latin American Bioeconomy Network. At that moment, we were, I don't know, maybe 30 institutions. Today, we are the double. We are 60 institutions from 10 different countries. 10 different countries of Latin America, and we are working on 5 topics. Guidelines, we are not trying to agree about only definition about bioeconomy, but we are trying to agree the guidance principles for our bioeconomy. We are working on strategies and policies. We are working on incubation and acceleration and scaling of bioventures. we are working on science and technology, and we are working trying to promote the region, to promote Latin America in the main spaces of the bioeconomy, like this one, like COP16, for example. In the COP16, we are having something like 22 different workshops, 7 seminars about bioeconomy, biodiversity in Latin America. We are trying to put Latin America in the bioeconomy map. So yeah, that's our reason. And we are totally convinced that we have to work together, not only between Latin America, also with partners from another regions.
Great. Thanks, Hugo. Peter, the floor is yours with the International Bioeconomy Forum.
Thank you, Elspeth. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Yes, my name is Peter Werheim. I work for and with the European Commission. Ben Durham could have also been sitting up here because I have the pleasure that we are currently co-chairing together with South Africa this International Bioeconomy Forum. What is this about? That's a platform on one of the core topics we have heard during the entire conference. I think everybody agrees that the bioeconomy is rooted in research and innovation and science and needs that backing on a continuous basis. And I think, yes, in 2016, we have created this International Bioeconomy Forum as a platform indeed for international collaboration on research and innovation related to the bioeconomy. It was, we had various plenary meetings, amongst them also in Canada, and we have always worked back to back with the Global Bioeconomy Summit, close cooperation, and we have also piggybacked this year our plenary meeting here to this Global Bioeconomy Summit. Many delegates who are here are also part of our IB of this International Bioeconomy Forum. We work through working groups. We have currently 5, and we have also submitted proposals for workshops. For instance, one on biorefineries, one on the forest-based bioeconomy, and one on ICT in food systems, and we have other working groups running where we bring together, indeed, where we're trying to bring together research, innovation, discussions through government-led agencies from all around the globe. And let me also, we also have observing organizations that are working in the research and innovation sphere. I think these working groups will become more dynamic over the next year again, and we invite, Ben, I can also invite here colleagues to express interest if you want to support us, but we see us as a platform to really forward research and innovation cooperation related to the bioeconomy. Thank you, Elspeth.
Sorry, beg your pardon. We have a video for the Global University Alliance. Is that ready to show?
Good afternoon, and a big hello to Nairobi, to the Global Bioeconomy Summit. I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to present our initiative on bringing together activities in the bioeconomy from all over the world in our Global Bioeconomy Alliance. My name is Volker Siever. I'm a professor at the Technical University of Munich, where I am heading the campus striving for biotechnology and sustainability, the place where the Technical University of Munich is combining its activities in the bioeconomy. And to introduce to you the Global Bioeconomy Alliance, I'd like to share a few slides with you. At the summit, you well know that bioeconomy can only be successful when done globally. That's why we started the Global Bioeconomy Alliance, together with the University of Queensland and UNESCO in Sao Paulo, the Technical University of Munich, formed this alliance some years ago and recently got the Danish Technical University to join. Our mission is to bring together academic players that are leading in their world region together, to work together, but also bring them together with governmental bodies and technology developers, meaning industry, startups, large companies, financing, etc., and bring them together from all over the world. So what activities do we pursue within our alliance? Here are a few of our focus areas are shown, where we have cooperative projects between more than one of our partners, where we have industry involved, where we are just very active. And that is certainly sustainable agriculture and sustainable food production, very important, but it's going beyond utilization of biomass. It's also integrated hydrogen and the hydrogen economy into the bioeconomy. It's about materials. And recently we became very active and start a new center here for sustainable mining. And on the other side, not only technology, but also socioeconomy, data, and tool development for sustainability assessment, as well as how to actually make money with bioeconomy has become big issues and big activities. We do act not only within our universities, where certainly we have the advantage of providing a network for student exchange, currently starting up a new Erasmus Mundus graduate program, but we're also active together with companies where we are basically a one-stop shop for high expertise for solving bottlenecks in technology, but also advising in sustainability analysis. And we also, with our platform, can link companies to governmental decision makers. And working with these partners helps us also at the universities to leverage external project money. Certainly, regions are important. While we are a global alliance, acting globally, that means we have to also include regional knowledge and help regions to advance. So again, one field of activity where we try to bring our expertise into the different regions and learn from the regions. We recently started an annual conference, Key Technologies in the Bioeconomy. This has been started in Straubing 2022. We had now the last one 2 weeks ago in Sao Paulo, and next year will be in Copenhagen. We do involve lots of industries with a certain focus on the country where the conference is taking place. Something that is rather new is that the Global Bioeconomy Alliance has joined forces with the Novo Nordisk Foundation, which sponsor a Global Bioeconomy Alliance award. 150,000 euro for the awardee is quite substantial, and we hope to award it to important people, maybe also small organizations, for developing new technologies, for example, but also, if some policy changes were initiated or some immediate societal impact was achieved. So quite diverse, and I'm sure within the Global Bioeconomy Summit there are many which would be very worthy to be awarded, and we are looking forward to nominations next year. We are actually now in the process of extending our network because we want to cover all regions of the world. With that, I'm at the end. I'm very happy that the Advisory Council of the Global Bioeconomy Summit has taken up the initiative to bring together here partners from all over the world that are globally active in the bioeconomy, and we are very happy to interact. And I wish you a great success of the continuation of the conference. Hopefully next time I'll be there among you, discussing with you and advancing the bioeconomy. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you can see that it is really timely that we find a way to gather everybody together, and hopefully maybe sometime next year we can manage some kind of a way to do that with each other, share the initiatives, because there are so many rising. We are talking to one or two other organisations as well, but we can't mention them at this moment. So, so thank you very much, panel, and thank you very much for the big picture stories from each of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed the energy levels are down. Can we clap like we mean it? Okay, let me see how good a group of students you are. Mambo? Huh? Mambo? So that corner, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, you can ask the neighbors in the middle. All right, so before we go any further, I have an announcement to make that we are within the last 60 minutes of GBS 2024. How about that? Anyway, if you're like me, you may have been wondering what was happening in the next room where you are. If you're in cricket, you're wondering what are people doing in grasshopper and mosquito. But not to worry, because in the next 24 minutes, that's the unenviable task that our lead persons here have, that they're going to come up here and report in 1 minute what they did for those many minutes. You remember the ones that made us miss our lunch almost. So I'm going to call all the lead persons from track 1. They do know themselves. So if you can just come up here, all of you, if you know you're reporting for track 1, advancing knowledge and innovation, please come up here. Otherwise, I'll call your names, but I didn't want to do that. Dr. Sia Vuya Bulani, Professor Bernard van Lengerich, Dr. Raymond Kelly, Dr. Mary Njenga, Dr. Julius Eshuru, Professor Reinhard Whitey, Dr. Sunday Ekesi, Dr. Adrian D. Rodriguez, Dr. Leon Siligar, and Mr. Yitate Kelemo Yit Barek. Are those people in this room? Yeah? Are you going to do it for all of them? Where are all those people? Please come up in a hurry because we really don't have a lot of time. Thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause. Okay, so there's a timer there. It is set to exactly 60 seconds. That means 1 minute. So, okay. Please settle down very quickly because we are going to start now. If you can stand behind the microphone or sit down, I think it will be helpful. Thank you. So we are going to start with Dr. Sia Vuya Bulani, who's going to give us the first report, and they will be followed closely by Professor Bernhard van Lengerich. So let's start. Your 1 minute starts now.
Sure. I'm not Dr. Sia Vuya, but I'm Tugela Matubatuba. From the session, Factors Impacting the Implementation of Biorefinery Technology in the Global Economy, it was convened by the Biorefinery Working Group of the International Bioeconomy Forum, facilitated by Sia Vuya and Thomas next to me for support. It was moderated by Nicolo Guacumozi from the Secular Biobased Europe and had a panel of 4 exciting experts. Lin Lange from Denmark, Vineran Tunaman from South Africa, Catherine Jochi from Estonia, and Adma Dumpunga from Canada. Some of the key messages that came out: there's a strong need for open methods of communicating what is working and what needs to be done, sharing experiences and lessons learned, strengthening impact through enhanced international collaboration, focus on indigenous communities and youth, encouraging better use of bioresources, making more from less, building businesses' case for empowering communities while contextualizing processes for getting high-value products, the need to de-risk funding for early research stage, and lastly, encouraging knowledge sharing, promoting partnerships between different key stakeholders, and changing the mindset to embrace sustainability. Thank you.
Because most of it is already on that board, please just highlight what is truly important. I gave you that leeway because you were the first one. The next person, please take exactly 60 seconds. All right, let's go. Professor Bernard.
30 seconds. We lack one chair for the next group. Hi everyone. I'm Jan Kever. I'm leading the innovation and investment space for Welthungerhilfe, an NGO working to achieve zero hunger. Together with Seeding the Future Foundation, Partners in Food Solutions, and Food Systems for the Future, we ran a couple of workshops in the last days, bringing together entrepreneurs, innovators, SMEs, and startups to discuss key challenges they face and derive solution strategies. We ended the discussions with a fireside chat with the leading experts on the food system scene to reflect on the insights we've learned.
And our key takeaways are: first, inclusion of stakeholders from the entire value chain was essential and led to really insightful and discovery of key opportunities, which is the power of many. Second, there is an urgent and important need for local governments and policymakers to more pragmatically enable equitable access to safe, nutritious, affordable, and appealing food. And lastly, there is an urgent and important need for more patient capital, sincere impact investment, and government funds to enable and accelerate sustainable economic and human-centered growth. And by the way, we really suggest to raise awareness and aggressive investment from other countries, for example, China.
Thank you. Please, just give us the key takeaways. Everything else we can get from the screen there. Dr. Raymond Kelly.
Thank you. So, can you hear me? No? So we looked at the use of artificial intelligence in pest and disease management in primary bioeconomy production. So our takeaways were that widespread availability of artificial intelligence allows the development of innovative solutions that combine data and knowledge from multiple sources to give timely and impactful advice for farmers. We're seeing with this a development of a new ecosystem of young, often female entrepreneurs, and we met two of those entrepreneurs yesterday. And but in order to move to the next level of automated pest and disease recognition, this is going to require extensive training of AI models. This is complex and time demanding and can't be underestimated. In this, we need to consider the full value chain to see where value can be added for all the actors in the chain, and thus make the intervention more cost effective. So the groups identified, we had two groups, they identified innovative solutions for two new use cases. New collaborations are being explored and data is going to be exchanged between Kenya and Colombia. I'll stop there.
All right, thank you very much. He did it. Let's have the next person, Dr. Mary Njenga.
On behalf of Dr. Mary Njenga, my name is David Lele from C4E-CRAF. We were looking at achieving sustainability in bioenergy, biochar work. Our aims were to share knowledge for core learning, discuss the elements of sustainability. The presenters were from research and development organizations under the core organization by C4E-CRAF, IRD, and University of Manchester. Outcomes from the workshop participants came up with 4 pillars of sustainability and the foundation in bioenergy biochar systems and circular bioeconomy. And the 4 pillars are represented there: sustainability, sustainable production and processing, capacity development, training and awareness, commercialization and standardization. Thank you.
Very much. Dr. Julius Eshuru.
Okay, my name is Paul on behalf of Julius. Our workshop looked at the availability of and competing uses of biomass in the bioeconomy. We focused on the supply, demand, as well as the competing uses of biomass. We had 8 case studies from the global south. And the key message is that we need data. It's lacking, especially on biomass, usage, the location and size, as well as the competing uses of biomass is not well established. The few case studies that are using biomass in production process are also a few case studies, not to be generalized. Finally, there is need for coordinated efforts as well as strategic planning among stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, let's get the key takeaways now from Professor Reinhard Huete, and please know that the topic is already up there. Thank you.
Healthy, that is, living soils are key for a sustainable provision of bioresources. Advances in microbiome, this is microbiological-based research on soils, as well as on us humans and their interaction, for instance, via food consumption, will create a deeper societal consciousness for the relevance of healthy soils and will open up new technological perspectives in bioeconomy. Agroforestry, including silvicultural and mixed cropping systems, will play a key role for protecting soil functions and for coping with both climate mitigation and climate adaptation. The biodiversity continuum. There is no above-ground biodiversity without below-ground biodiversity, with biodiversity being essential for a sustainable biomass production and many other ecosystem functions. In short, soils are essential for the survival of mankind.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Sunday Ekesi.
Good afternoon. My name is Beatrice Moreidi. I'm representing Dr. Ekesi. I'm also from Misipe. And our workshop, the title, you can see it, we aimed at discussing the integration of biodiversity informatics in bioeconomy, focusing on agrobiodiversity, regenerative agriculture, and indigenous knowledge. We had a multidisciplinary panel coming from the Global South and also Africa. And as you can see, we had experts in sericulture and bioresource management, environmental science, entomologists, public health experts, economists, conservation biology, and also climate finance. And we were happy to have a youth representative who is very passionate about environment. So what are our key messages? The discussion was actually very interesting. We all agreed that biodiversity database on African context remains very scarce and also variable and dispersed. Yet, it's very critical for sustainable bioeconomy transformation. We also agreed that integration of indigenous knowledge and scientifically driven evidence is needed to drive community action. Let me just go to the last ones, that prioritizing on capacity building for indigenous communities and national stakeholders in biodiversity informatics and bioeconomy is very important. And last but not least, enhancing investment in biodiversity, bioeconomy through public-private partnership, collaboration, and market linkage is very essential. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please remember that we can read the theme of your discussion. Just give us the key messages. Let's now go then to Dr. Adrian Rodriguez.
So, time is running. We had a workshop with 3 levels of measurement and technical standards: macro, sustainability criteria, and technical standards. At the macro level, we were aware of the limitations of the national accounts framework to account for environmental impacts and welfare considerations vis-a-vis the need for monitoring a sustainable and inclusive bioeconomy. Sustainable indicators and measures need to be transparent data sources, and that brings us to the need to monitor and compare, to have criteria to compare. and from national goals to scale level and local communities. Technical measures and standards are needed to advance engineering biology and innovative biotechnologies for the bioeconomy. For example, technical standards for data, for sustainability assessment, for sustainable biomass feedstocks, and that to enable partnerships, and in general, a call for integration of economic, social, and environmental approaches and technical standards to drive the bioeconomy, and a request made to map measurement initiatives with the G20 principles.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Leon Seliger.
So our question was, will small-scale African farmers be active participants in the worldwide circular bioeconomy by 2044? And it was a resounding yes, but we had a lot of things that we were concerned about. So researchers need to take farmers on board if they want to address food security in Africa. That was one of our conclusions. Agricultural researchers should adopt extensive participatory action research methodologies in their research with communities. Agricultural researchers should first do a needs-based analysis of the communities they wish to engage with research. Before farmers spend resources and time on new commodity ventures, they should research market demand. Farmers need to find new ways of marketing and diversifying their products. And finally, collaboration between farmers, researchers, and extension officers is vital for productivity in the bioeconomy. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. In communication, they says if it can't fit on a t-shirt, forget it. Anyway, Mr. Yitatek Kelemu Yitbarek.
Right, thank you. Our session was on Ready for Takeoff, Empowering Africa's Workforce for the Bioeconomy and Just Transition from the Roundtable on Sustainable Biomaterials. We delve into embedding sustainability in the bioeconomy space, and we also had a panel discussion on how to, upskill Africa's workforce in terms of sustainability. The key takeaways, probably Francis, the previous plenary discussant, said that sustainability is important in the bioeconomy space, and we think that sustainability is not negotiable in building sustainable bioeconomy. Relevant skills underpinned with sustainability fluency. This came from the panel discussion that we need to have relevant skills to upskill our education embedded into that, and not only focusing on practical, not theoretical, but practical skills. We also talked about collaboration is key in terms of policymakers and academic institution. And finally, policy supersedes science. There's a need for bioeconomy to have a political buy-in to flourish and to unlock finances and supercharge development.
All right, thank you very much. They did it. Give them a huge round of applause. I don't think I'm left with anybody. I think I've gone through. Is there anybody who came to do something and hasn't done it? Thank you very much. Let's have the next track. So everybody who's making a presentation for track 2, please start coming up. This is driving industry and markets, and the lead persons are Dr. Christian Thiel, Ms. Celestina Bren Porras, Fiona Napier, and Mr. Juka Kantola, Mr. Ugne Dirdaite, and then we have Mr. Sven Walter. We also have Professor Lin Lang and Mr. Johannes Weber. All right, the drill is the same. Please just give us the key takeaways, and that happens all in 60 seconds. All right, so let's have Dr. Christian Thiel.
Hello, and Yambo. I'm reporting back on the workshop Bioeconomy Meets One Health. And one of our key messages is that bioeconomy has the potential to assess the added value of One Health, and of course also vice versa. We discussed in a World Cafe with 3 tables different stages of a value chain of medicinal plants. And I do not want to read the points on the slides, but instead point out that the importance of knowledge. Next to many other interesting aspects that we have discussed, we could clearly see that knowledge is a key factor and a bracket around all the stages in the value chain. So we need to increase knowledge for those who grow, for those who harvest, process, analyze, and market medicinal plants. We also need to save and to share traditional knowledge, and this must be based on trust, equality, mutual benefit, and create a local value. Thanks, and asante.
All right, thank you very much. Celestina Brennan Porras.
Yeah, I'm not Celestina, as you can see it. On behalf of the Institute of Agricultural Cooperation, GGGI, and Zenit, we developed a really challenging workshop. We were lacking with people. A lot of people were attending to the finance one. But yeah, we found that the key challenges for bio-entrepreneurship are the same ones. It doesn't matter if you are in Asia, Africa, or Latin America. It's actually very similar. So it's lack of training, difficult in applying knowledge, challenges to different specific contexts, and actually, of course, accessing finance and partnerships development. So we did actually half of the workshop, and the last part was the most interesting one, is how the Global South and the Global North can cooperate and can achieve a win-win solution for both. So technology transfer, financial solutions, and fair trade and triangular cooperation are the key takeaways for that cooperation.
Thank you very much. The next one, we have Fiona Napier and or Juka Kantol. I think there's maybe one person who do, but are they here? Okay.
Inda Juan Nangwe, representing Fiona and Juka from Nature Finance. So our session looked at how we can finance the bioeconomy. And what was clear was that there is a massive market potential. But beyond that, we need to acknowledge that our very existence, as well as our entire economy, is dependent on nature. And so the bioeconomy needs to be sustainable. There is also an interesting dynamic between the Global North and Global South perspectives. I don't like those two terms, but they are what they are, with the North focusing on the circular economy, clean energy, and the South looking at the bioeconomy as a powerful tool for immediate development. There are also clear emerging channels for financing, which I will not go to. They are on the screen. And finally, in terms of how do we implement tapping into the G20 high-level principles, glad that South Africa accepted and is leading the development of, wanting to lead the development of practical standards and metrics. And for Africa, the opportunities are big, especially in technology-intensive sectors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ugne Dedaite. Did I pronounce it correctly? All right, thank you.
No. No? Yeah. So as Bioeconomy Youth Ambassadors, we were inviting diverse teams to create the entrepreneurial, sustainable ideas. And from that, there were 4 challenges that we were providing. And even though if all teams were innovative and creative, we selected one related to the bio-based agriculture because of their passionate and inclusive business idea, which was related to the bioeconomy. Thank you.
Sven Walter.
Thanks a lot. So we had an exciting workshop on the contribution of forest and forest products to the sustainable bioeconomy. Our panel was multi-stakeholder. We had international organizations, foundations, and the private sector. And we have a couple of key messages. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sven.
Our key messages: forest-based bioeconomy present viable pathways for conservation of natural resources, and while it simultaneously support communities, livelihoods, and also economic growth. Forest product value chains provide promising opportunities for upscaling the sustainable forest-based bioeconomy. We also feel that upscaling the forest-based bioeconomy in Africa requires safeguarding any bioeconomy-related interventions that may have some potential harms and damages. We also feel that implementing holistic enabling policies, including targeted incentives, will also facilitate bioeconomy. We feel that forest value chains must be acknowledged in all bioeconomy functions. And finally, we feel that putting local communities at the heart of any engagement, including gender aspects, engaging youth, and developing new and viable job opportunities will also facilitate bioeconomy in Africa. Thank you.
Very much. Professor Len Lang.
Thank you. We were inspired by a sense of urgency in positioning the bioeconomy, both in the global climate change agenda, the biodiversity, and feeding the world. We invited 5 eminent speakers from representing 5 different continents for cascading use of and making unlocking full potential of essential side streams and residues. And we are emphasizing creating jobs and rural livelihood and enabling a reduction of export of raw materials are key drivers and can be reached by implementing the bioeconomy. We think that time is right to have an international bioeconomy partnership focusing on young researchers with knowledge sharing and technology transfer, with focusing on developing better use of the bioresources in Global South. And we want, with the knowledge sharing, to start immediately, that our 5 times 5, 5 continents and 5 speakers, that we will start having a presentation and a website on, so we start sharing the knowledge immediately. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, Mr. Johannes Weber.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ngozi Edum. I'm representing Johannes. So our workshop was organized by the International Bioeconomy Forum, and we looked at 5 different case studies, and 4 of them were from the countries in 4 continents. Across the case study that we looked at, we identified that it was socially inclusive. They involved women and indigenous communities, and they also identified opportunity to scale up. And what the challenges that cut across the case study is that we identified the need to make the bioeconomy business model to be more environmentally impact in terms of sustainability and circularity, and also the need for it to be more economic viable. And there is need for data collection, because when we have data, we can go with this data to influence policymakers and also get finance to scale up this. And then we also identified across the 4 case study the need for engagement with public stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. That's it for track 2. Thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause as we get the lead persons for track 3. Please start coming up if you know you have anything to do with track 3 and you're reporting about it. Marilik Niemeyer, Dr. Martin Gremel, Andrew Julius Bender, Marcus Wolpadiga, right? Marco Rupp, Dr. Johan Lieberton, and Dr. Heike Slusser-Rix. Whoa. Are they all here now? All right. So the first person that is going to go up is Marilik Nihimea. Please just pronounce this.
So hi, I'm not Marilik, I'm Isabella. I'm a youth champion, but Marilik was one of our organizers. The workshop was co-organized with FAO, the World Food Forum, the AICGP Youth Champions, and the EU Youth Ambassadors. So the idea was to have an intergenerational dialogue, and I think it went great. We laughed a lot with all the policymakers. We get to bond with them and have a very clear view of what do we, or how can we build together, right? Because that was the idea. So we have as outcomes 4 main points: bridge the gap in access to education and vocational training, tailored to local realities, developed effective and international mechanisms in policymaking to include youth from design to implementation. Our transition to a sustainable bioeconomy must be inclusive and just, and global collaboration and coordination to bring these gaps and enhance synergies.
Thank you very much. Martin?
Thank you. The workshop The workshop exploring global collaboration opportunities for universities in the bioeconomy field was organized by the European Bioeconomy University Alliance, and we had about 50 participants and discussed a lot. It was really a lively discussion. The results were that there was a clear sign that there is an advantage of a network from universities. This was a screening activities, and we were clear that this should be advanced at the next level, and the next step will be to organize a more elaborated and structured discussion with the goal to have a final first meeting of the new Global Bioeconomy and University Alliance at the GBS 2026.
All right. Well done, well done. Andrew Julius Bender.
All right, I hope that wasn't my clock. All right, now imagine a biotech incubator in Copenhagen that wants to start engaging with the world. And you're looking for frameworks, you're looking for partnerships, you also know the world is siloed. You know there is no connectivity in many ways between what we are saying, Global South and Global North. Luckily, you get a framework, but we need to put that framework to proof. We need to test it, the African Union, European Union agenda. And we need to pull it down from the national macro and maybe even from the meso and put it at the micro. So that's what was our event was at. How do you get a biotech to work with others here locally, biotechs? So we had a very good group for the since March, we've worked with BioInnovate and Growth Africa to do this. And you can read some of the things that came out. 4 main themes: partnerships, implementation, localization, and financing. Let's look at those and untie this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Marcus.
Okay, so I'm representing Dr. Marcus. Can you hear me? All right. We looked at the significance of water in bioeconomy strategies, and we looked from a point of view of urban, rural, and industrial dimensions. What we found was key is that regional water resources in Africa differ from one region to another. And as we look into integrating the bioeconomy strategies per region, let us also keep in cognizance that water also needs to be also managed from a regional point of view, given the fact that water does not respect your borders. It moves from one country to another, and it is key to look at it from that perspective. So we identified the challenges, we went into what are some of the things that we are doing very well, and we actually then went into the requirements in order to be able to unlock the bioeconomy strategies looking into the issue of water. And what is also key is to bear in mind that the water, energy, and food nexus is very key in the manner in which we are going to utilize water to unlock these strategies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have it on good authority that you will receive all these reports, and I assure you you'll be able to read them in more than 60 seconds. Marco.
Hi, everybody. If you want to know about our workshop, you just have to look at the three pictures. First of all, bus and drivers. The bioeconomy bus has departed, and we heard from 6 models of public-private cooperation around the world showing that bioeconomy is already a driver of reindustrialization. Second, blueprints. We can build up on those models of public-private cooperation to develop blueprints of public-private cooperation either at regional or national level or at global level. And the blueprints should use the 3 Fs. What is the focus of the cooperation? What is the format of the cooperation? And what is the funding of the cooperation? Third, target and outcome. We'll use the breakout group discussions and the workshops to further develop recommendations for those blueprints. And we invite everybody here to support us. Thank you.
Thank you. Johan Liberton.
Thanks you so much for the opportunity. It's my pleasure to share with you the outcome of our little workshop. I myself am a youth champion, a bioeconomy youth champion by the International Advisory Council, and we had the pleasure to host the workshop. And the content of this workshop is pretty much about our communique later, so I don't share any details. Be curious in a few minutes what Anna will share, but I want to take this time to make a little request to you. And we tried with this workshop gathering youth organizations globally in the area of bioeconomy, be it biodiversity, be it synthetic biology, be it biosecurity. So if you know any of those organizations, please make sure they know us and we can work together with them. Then one of the key outcomes was that most organizations couldn't join us on site in Nairobi, so there will be a virtual follow-up. So that's your kind of chance to make the youth a bit better by connecting us so that we can tackle the challenges of the future together. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Dr. Heike?
Mambo. We thought that 2 quotes actually summarize our session quite well. One, bioeconomy is a puzzle under construction, which we really liked because lots of pieces are available, but sometimes you don't find them on the table. So maybe they're under the table, and together you find them faster than if you search alone. And the second one is a request and call to all of you based on a quote by J.F. Kennedy. Fellow bioeconomists, don't ask how bioeconomy can be implemented, but what bioeconomy can do for transformation to the future. Key finding, all of the 3 levels obviously are important. They have their different purposes and roles. Macro strategies often span the option and potential space of the bioeconomy. They provide us the map of where we want to go. The meso level serves to facilitate, so some of the key topics we've heard, financing, standardization can be done and should be done on the meso level, and on the micro level is where the strategies are implemented. We don't want to stop here, so if you want to know more about what we discussed, join us in the dialogue, contact us, and we will tell you more and work more on this together.
And that's number 24, by the way. Please give them a big round of applause. And my special salute to those who are able to make us laugh, tell us a small story, and give us their key messages in 60 seconds. I think they should be part of a team that builds a framework for communicating bioeconomy. Let me now invite Professor Christine Lang to give us a communique from Global Bioeconomy Summit 2024.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm still impressed by this performance of all of the workshops. And I see I missed a lot because you can only go to one at a time. So it's my happy duty now to talk about what has been achieved during and also before the summit. It's the tradition of the Global Bioeconomy Summit to have the communique of the International Advisory Council published on this last hour of the summit. We have gone, that's one important thing, we have gone paperless. So if you want to read the summit, you can scan the code. And you can also go to the website. So what is the special thing? We have done a communiqué that has a certain structure. I don't know if I had another slide on that as well. No? Okay. The structure of the communiqué is just to make you see what you miss if you don't read it. We are going to the history of a bit of the communiques in the Go Bioeconomy Summits, just to give you an overview, because we started in 2015. And then we looked at what are the challenges and what has changed in the last few years, from the last communiqué, which was 2020, to the communiqué now. And then we go to the recommendations. So you can go back to one of the slides, that's fine. I don't have the recommendations on heart, out of heart, so please let me see them. Okay. You will see anyway. There will be 5 recommendations on this, and that's really a pity that you can just show me the slide that we had. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Go back to that slide. Yeah, fine. That's just enough to see, because that says this is for those people who don't want to read the whole story. But I imply you just do this. We have also the summary. We think executive summary is a big thing you can put your politicians, and that's one of the things we would like you to do. Just talk about what we've seen. So we recommend 5 things. First is, very important, integrate bioeconomy strategies into economy policy. Before, we have long been talking about economy strategies and ignoring that this is the future economy. So the next step is combining and say bioeconomy is part of the economy. Very important. Second thing, we've talked about that, and I'm so happy that I've seen that there's so much momentum in this. Create a global bioeconomy partnership, bringing different existing initiatives together to share and discuss perspectives. And we've just seen the start of this. Facilitate development of standards for fast and broad market access for bioeconomy innovations. Also, this is something we have discussed here, we've heard in some of the workshops. We will never get to a broad market and implementation scale up if we do not work on this and set up these standards. Support regional and local initiatives to grow and connect with the global bioeconomy. Yes, this is the Global Bioeconomy Summit, but we've also learned that bioeconomy starts in the local and regional level. It's those initiatives that have to grow and that we have to find up. And then you're now not giving me the last, may I, sorry, there was one other recommendation, and it would be great if you could all see this. So the last is, next one. It doesn't matter, really. You just can show the ones. Okay, this is improvisation, and this is what made this summit so special. Not everything was organized to the spot, but most things worked out anyway. So the last recommendation, now see you can read it, thank you very much, is include teaching of bioeconomy principles at all education levels. And I thought this is also important. We've been starting with the school children yesterday morning, and we have just heard from the youth and the young people that we need to have teaching and education. And I think this is very important. So this is the 5 recommendations. That's just the short list of everything that is there, and you can scan those and download it. Please share the communiqué, read it, enjoy it, share it with your networks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Lang. Next, we are going to have Berta Schifeta and Ana Del Hierro Calvaci, and they're going to present the Global Bioeconomy Summit Youth Communique.
Thank you so much. I think we have mentioned this communique like 1,000 times, and we are really happy and proud to be here. Since you all know us already, we are the Youth Bioeconomy Champions. We have been selected by the International Advisory Council on Global Bioeconomy. Please, can you change the next slide? Thank you. So here, we don't want to be by ourselves. So right now, I'm gonna call my friends. Please join us on stage, our fellow youth champions. This is a collaborative work. This is something that we have been doing voluntary, but it represents our dedication and our deep personal commitment to building a sustainable future. Can you put the next slide? We share a vision that we don't only have to foster local and regional prosperity, but also tackle global challenges. And we think that amplifying youth voices is a key of the message of this communique. We also have placed bioeconomy as a catalyst for restoring biodiversity, driving sustainable development, and advancing social equality. And we think that it's possible to create this sustainable future. And we also think that technology and social sciences are a part of this bioeconomy that we envision.
Next slide, please. Our communique is especially drawn into 3 key components, speaking of our wishes, and those are youth empowerment, infrastructure and resources, as well as collaboration. In the youth empowerment space, it is our wish for comprehensively cross-cutting educational systems that are tailored and region-specific, supported and backed by inclusive policies that speak to the needs and recognize the values of all backgrounds. With infrastructure and resources, it is our wish for sufficient investment in especially both physical and digital infrastructures, and most importantly, dedicated funding mechanisms that support youth-led solutions in the bioeconomy space. Lastly, with collaboration, we are hoping for meaningful collaboration and partnership that enhance skill transfer as well as tech transfer, while also ensuring that youth remain adaptable in the new biomarket, as well as technological convergence, as I strongly believe that an empowered and a supported generation is very much capable and can immensely drive bioeconomy development. Our communique ends with 10 strategic points in a call to action. That should be in the next slide, please. And these are interconnected to the 17 UN SDGs, and which without further ado shall be explained by the video coming right up. Video, please.
Youth empowerment is essential to transforming the global bioeconomy into a force for societal, environmental, and economic change. As bioeconomy youth champions, we have agreed on the following call to action that urges policymakers, industry leaders, and educational institutions in society to build a more inclusive bioeconomy.
Establish mentorship programs.
Implement inclusive education policies.
Launch dedicated funding initiative.
Promote global collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Create regional innovation hubs.
Support youth entrepreneurship.
Ensure youth participation in bioeconomy.
Engage rural youth.
Foster partnership between academia and the private sector.
Integrate cultural and indigenous knowledge. We invite you to read the communique and share it with your networks. Join us in spreading the youth vision for the global bioeconomy.